If hosting always feels rushed, last minute menus, panic shopping, styling stress, it's not because you're bad at hosting, it's because you're planning without a structure. Last year, I planned my brunch almost every month because I needed to build my momentum, my consistency, and I just wanted to push myself. However, as I've grown and evolved, I have learned that planning for seasons gives so much room for creativity, adequate planning, and in the end, what you get is a well-tailored event that looks and feels beautiful and welcoming. So each season gets a core theme, a repeatable menu structure, a styling palette, and a styling hosting ritual. So people already know what they get when they come. For example, spring brunches for me are light, floral, and fresh. That means that influences the color palette for the event. I just need to make it tailored to the theme that we're working on and make it look beautiful every time. So I will work with small flowers. I will choose seasonal ingredients for my menu. And as you can see here in this video, how I used oranges and these flowers to build a nice spread for my tablescape for Mother's Day last year. So what this means is that when the date comes up, I'm not scrambling with the menu direction and how I want people to feel when they come into the room and all through the event. So here you can see how I use the simple flowers, ranunculus, and I'm not very sure the name of the other flowers any longer, but I remember chrysanthemums, which are the small ones, and I just stuck them in half of an orange. I tried to cut the base of the orange slightly to sit them down properly without cutting all the way through to the juice so they don't run onto the table. And you can see here I'm just trying to simulate all the flavors and the colors of life, of newness, which is very, very representative of spring. I did this tablescape at 2 a.m. in the morning because that was the best time for me to be able to get it done undisturbed. So here you can see the tablescape is like the major thing that I use to set the scene. Now these are grapes that I'm putting on. You can see two types. They're the same grapes, but then the form determines how they will eventually look. You can see this one has so many open strings, or the vines, I can see them very clearly, as opposed to the one that had the nice cluster like this one. So this one is like the perfect type that I like to put on grazing tables or any form of display at all, because it just looks beautiful. It sits nicely, the vein is hidden, and it just works. So here you can see how it just cascades nicely, and you can see the veins all through the grapes. So I'm just going to put the grapes all around the table. I use the scissors to cut them nice and short to keep them properly pruned. And this is just a really, really simple scape that I did for Mother's Day, and it was just really beautiful. Finally, I'm adding what we call easy peelers, which we call tangerines. So they're the small ones. I intentionally look for the size that are even, and because I wanted to stagger them and sit them over each other. And you can see me here just putting them all the way through. Sometimes I don't have the full picture of what I want to do or exactly how I want it to look on the table. I just know that I want it to be maybe as a table runner, just like this one is like a runner, and I wanted it to be more of fruits and florals. Like I told you the last time, that most of the time I like most of my tablescapes to be really alive and close to life, so I would use fruits or florals or something that's alive basically. So here you can see I've put all those easy pillars on, and they look so beautiful. So this was quite a laid back event where the ladies will be eating from a spread like a buffet, so there was no real need for me to put on all the cups, the spoons, and all the crockery on the table. But I wanted to get this table done, and the leftover of all those flowers, I eventually used it also for the table spread, and it was beautiful. Now, here I'm just trying to show you very quickly how I will just do a very simple table. So now here you can see that I'm trying to create something that looks easy and light. You can use fresh florals and you can use dried florals. So these florals that I have here, they're called baby's breath or gypsos, and they were previously fresh because I bought them fresh, but then I dried them, and then now I have them all year round because they're already dried. Now you can see here that all I needed to do was to just put different textures of plates. I'm just working here with white and gold. That's really simple, light and airy colors, and you can see how it looks so beautiful. Next thing, I'm going to show you how you can use the napkins. So you can do so many different styles of napkins. There's no one single one size fits all method to do your napkins, but it's so important that you get something that is nice and textured because they work. They just look luxurious. So if you're not using silk, or you're not using something that's close enough to silk material like a duchess, then you should definitely be using a textured material like this. So it looks like linen, but it's not linen. It's like in between linen, but it just has a nice texture to it. So here you can see I'm just folding it into a triangle, and I'm going to put a leaf style napkin ring on it. So even though this thing has been used so many times, there is so many ways you can use it without it looking monotonous or tiring. And here you can see that I've used it here, and then you can just simply put it on to the plate, and then you can put your menu just on the side of the plate. You can put the menu at the bottom or in between the two dishes, that's the textured one and the plain, or you can just simply put it on the side. So whatever works for you really is what it is. So I will put it on the side like that because that space is quite empty. Now let's make another style of napkins. It's the same napkin, and if you wanted to make that same triangle style, you can see with a different napkin ring I've just made that nice shape, and I've put it right in the middle of the plate. It's so easy, it looks nice, and then you can still drape it differently. And here I'm going to show you how I made how I make a bow or like a bow tie effect. It always looks so beautiful, and it's such a timeless design. It's perfect for Christmas season if you have a red napkin, or even anything feminine. It just works, and it just always looks beautiful. So you can see here how I'm tying it, and the last trick is to make sure you grab together the tail and the heads, and then you have to definitely use a round ring, napkin ring, because that's what works best. Here you go. So you see how it has that nice soft sophisticated look to it, and it's just really beautiful. And so here you can place your menu at the bottom of the plate, or you can just put your menu on and then let the napkin be just right above it. It just looks really beautiful. I personally love this style. It's so classic, so beautiful. And make sure you check your cutlery, make sure they're just exactly beside each other. If you want to host more without stress, stick around on this page. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends and your hosting buddies, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me across my different socials at Chef A James to see more of what I'm creating to show you how you can host successfully, and especially if you like to host brunch. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I choose brunch themes that still feel special, even when they repeat. Subscribe if you want hosting to feel intentional, brunch themes that still feel special, and let me be your guide. I can't wait to show you all that I do this year. I'm hosting 4 brunches this year, 1 in the spring themed bloom where you're planted, 2 in the summer, and it's called Wimbledon Table. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to have 20 seats for that one brunch, and it's going to be outdoor. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we have a lovely weather and we can do it outdoors. And then we also have Sun Ripened. Sun Ripened is like a tomato festival party basically. We're also hosting about 20 to 24. However, it's going to be very, very red. So we're painting the city red with this brunch. And then finally, we have Wintering, which is a very small, intimate brunch that we'll be having in the winter. I can't wait to bring everything to show you what we did. And make sure you subscribe, like this video, share with your friends, and stick around. All right, darlings, till next time. Bye bye.